Ignacio, thank you so much for meeting with us today.
You're welcome.
Could you talk about your experience in Spain during the World Cup and how the people reacted to the Spanish victory?
Well, first of all, I was very lucky that I happened to be there on vacation with my kids and my wife visiting my family, and I guess we were not really sure if we were going to make it that far. So we went through the semifinals first, which was very exciting because they basically put all the big screens all over the place in Madrid, and you have all these young kids just going up there and really unifying the country and bringing the flags, and sometimes it takes one of these events to get everybody together, forget about politics, forget about everything, the economy, and just get together to have a good time. So it was really very exciting, and I haven't seen anything like that in my life. You know, even during, I mean, sometimes we had big crowds, unfortunately, for unfortunate incidents, you know, like terrorist attacks or, you know, demonstrations against violence or against other events. So this is really the first event that I've seen everybody coming together, having a good time, and just pushing for the team and for the country, and recognizing all the efforts of all these athletes. So it was great, very exciting, and probably the most impressive thing to me was not only the crowds, which were huge, but also the behavior of the people. I mean, when you have these big crowds and this event, you always have sometimes minority groups that will spoil the party or try to create some agenda. And in this event, I haven't seen anything on the newspapers. I didn't see anything in the streets, and it was just a family event for young people and parents with their kids to have a great time and enjoy the sport.
So it came at a good time too, because you've had all the trouble with the economy, and now you have something good happening for Spain.
Right. So yeah, I think it's great for the country. It needed a push, like everybody, and with all the economy situation and the unemployment and the political discussions, this probably, I hope that something good comes out of all this, at least economically, because, you know, once the World Cup is over, it's back to reality and back to the same issues. But at least during that weekend, you could see the happiness and the enjoyment in the people, and that was the main thing. Even in the final, I don't know how many people there, but all the streets, because we were right in the middle of the Castellana and La Cibeles, which is where the event was taking place, and you could see people coming from all the suburbs and everything, filling up like ants. And then when the event was over, they lived calm, no police, no distraction, no fire. You know, celebrate the victory, which is great, and I think it should be the
Was
way
this in
you
Madrid?
Yeah, right in Madrid. And it's in the center, so they had these big screens. So everybody got together in there to just watch the game and support the team. And then the next day, when they came back from South Africa, the same thing. I think that probably the game was from 8:30 to around 11:30, but we probably stayed there until 5 o'clock in the morning celebrating. And then the next day, when the team came back, same thing. I think they went on all night and all day celebrating. So it was a good victory, great effort on the athletes. I mean, these athletes the World Cup is something that has always been, you know, a thorn for Spain, you know, because we never made it anywhere, but we always have very good players, and we always play that type of a style, but it never seemed to be successful. So I think that for the first time, this team of players that have been playing together since they were little kids, they stuck to their strategy, program, and effort, and now they've won the Euro Cup, they won the World Cup, and they have put Spain with the elite group of winners of the World Cup, which is not many countries.
Do you think that might translate into helping the Spanish economy for?
It will help. I mean, it always helps because at least people, you know, they will spend some money. In the short term, probably people will go out into the restaurants and buy shellfish and the good ham and the good wine, and so I'm sure you'll see the effect.
Tourism, maybe, perhaps?
Tourism, I think that the World Cup has a huge exposure, because just to be in the final, you have, I think the figure were like 3 billion people around the world watching the event. So obviously, it's free advertising and free promotion for the country, because Spain is already one of the largest tourism countries in the world. I mean, we get about 50 million people every year. So, but it helps. I mean, it helps to put Spain in the map, and to get all this free marketing and advertising is great from the country. I'm sure it will be a positive effect.
Can you talk a little bit about how the country is doing economically? Because I know the Greek debt crisis.
Yeah, economically, I think that it's still difficult. I mean, the government is obviously had to pass a very austere and tough budget. I think the European Union is pushing every other country to really cut the deficits and get everything online. And when you have a 20% unemployment, it's not easy. We have gone from one of the fastest growing countries to now suddenly to one of the slowly growing countries with the highest unemployment, and the policies that there is not a union between the political parties, especially the main forces, who had to take care of the problem. So the socialist government is pushing one way, and the conservative party is pushing the other way. So it's making it very difficult to find a consensus on what is it going to take, and it's going to be difficult. I mean, right now, the government is trying to get the votes and the alliance to continue with the new policies and the new programs, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get it. And if they don't, then if they don't have the majority votes, they won't be able to pass a budget, and then it's going to be very difficult for President Zapatero to move ahead. So
is it similar to Greece in some ways?
No, there's no
Different?
relation.
Completely different?
Greece is a very small country, and Spain is still 50 million people. We have one of the largest economy in Europe, and even though we still have probably a lot of the problems that we have in Spain is that the working structure of the companies that we have inherited from Franco, they haven't changed that much, and through the last governments in the last 30 years, they've never modernized. None of the governments have really modernized the working structure. So you have the unions in one side that are trying to keep everybody protected, and you have a lot of the investors and private companies that they want more freedom, more like United States. They want the ability to hire people and let them go when they're needed, and that creates more difficult to start new business and to be flexible. And so they're trying to create models that are more similar to other countries in Europe, like Austria or Germany, or where you can have more flexibility to hire and fire people. And that's probably one of the things that is making more difficult the recovery that you have in other countries. But still, I mean, Spain is a country with very little debt. The GDP level of debt is still very low compared with other countries, or even Greece. I think Greece was at 130% of GDP. Spain was at 60% before the crisis started. So it's not the same case, but at least it's like everything. I mean, it's the confidence of the investors. The money is there, but if the money doesn't feel secure, it's not going to move.
So you don't think there'll be any default on government debt? Or anything?
Well, I don't. It shouldn't be. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I don't think that there should be any default on the payments. There are plenty of reserves, and Spain has had a good economy for many years. I think the biggest problem with Spain is not really that. It's really more of a diversified economy. How do you cannot depend only on tourism and real estate construction and other small sectors. You have to have more of a diversified economy like you have in this country. We need more technology, we need more everything. And they've tried to do something, but obviously it's not enough yet. And they've invested a lot of money in new technologies, the renewable energies, the high train. So when you go into Spain, they have put a lot of money with the help of Europe at the beginning, but you can see the improvement in the infrastructure. When you go into Spain, it's a very modern country. The cities are clean, the highways are excellent. You have very good methods of public transportation everywhere. So all the infrastructure is there. It's a question of meeting the minds between the investors and the unions and all the political forces to say, okay, how do we all push in one direction, and stop? We are all in the same boat instead of fighting each other like you have now.